Welcome to Programming for Designers. This is Trish Ladd, WIP 400 Platt College. Sending email with PHP. As you can see here, it's better to give than to receive, and the primary reason is because there are less resources needed for sending emails. SMTP stands for Standard Mail Transfer Protocol, and that's what we will be working with the mail function that is built into PHP. Any server settings that are in your PHP INI file you can find out about just by using PHP info. We'll talk about that later. So just as a reminder, forms need action and method. The action says where to send the file data to, and the method says which array to send that data to. The get method sends the data array to the URL of the page in which the action is pointed to, and the post method would send the data into the post array to be processed by the page that the action is pointed to. All inputs need the name attribute. That's how it gets its value, or how we can get its value from the post or get array. Those values get passed to the post or get array based off of the method that is defined in the form element. Just a reminder, the mail function is vulnerable, and therefore we must sanitize our data. Mail actually returns a Boolean value, 0 if the mail fails, 1 if the mail is sent successfully. It requires 4 arguments. I have represented them by these variables: scalar to, scalar subject, scalar body, and scalar headers. The to argument is the email address or addresses that you need to have received the email message. The subject line is the subject line of the message. Anytime you go to your email and you see the subject line, whatever that is, could be like, hey, great sale at Amazon today. That would be what would be in that area. That would be the argument for that item. Body is the main content of your message. The one that basically says, hey, how's it going? I need to tell you about this really cool deal at Amazon. Next is the headers. The header data must include a from email address. The default content type for email is text. If you want to send an HTML email, you must specify it in the headers. So here's a little more detail on the different arguments. Scalar to, so who we are sending our email to, and it must comply with this RFC 2822 format. It's just a standard format for emails that has been accepted, and if you vary from this format, your email may not be properly received or stuffed into spam. It's the standard for internet messages, and you can Google that to find out more about it if you like. So all of these examples would work as part of the value for the to string. The address that you would want to get the email should be part of the to parameter. We can actually put in multiple email addresses. Let's say that we have more than one address that we want to have the mail sent to. We can store it as a variable like addresses, or we could even put it into to. Doesn't really matter. A variable is a variable. What matters is its value. And then you can just use that as your to argument, or basically where you are sending items to. However, you cannot do where we have email 1, email 2, because the mail function has already set its parameters, and that's to, subject, body, and headers. If you do email 1 and email 2, the subject line is going to be the second email and not actually sent to the email. Actually, it's going to give you an error because there are too many arguments. And it's expecting 4 and you're passing it 5. The subject line is basically what the line of what the email is about. This could be stored in a variable and passed it to the mail function, or it could be static, an unchanging value, or set dynamically, as you can see below. So the content, or the body, this is where the text of your mail would go, the part where you open it up and you read what the person wanted to tell you. So for line breaks within the body, we can use the line feed code if we are using text emails rather than HTML. And a suggestion would be to have lines no larger than 70 characters. I haven't really seen any trouble with that one way or another, primarily because most email clients are accepting HTML emails, and so the word wrap works just fine. However, if you want to be precise, a string that is no longer than 70 characters would be beneficial. Headers. Headers are important for our emails to be sent. You must have the from value. A default value can be set up in PHP INI. You can do a reply to or content type, which would be how you would set HTML emails, charset UTF-8, for example, any sort of carbon copy or blind carbon copy recipients that you would want to send to as well. Any extra headers should be separated with a carriage return new line. That would be the \r\n. And it looks like this. So in summary, we can use the server to process forms and send that data via email. The mail function requires 4 arguments: to, subject, body, and headers. Remember that mail is vulnerable, so you must, say it with me, sanitize your data. Those values can be either preset or dynamic. We can get the values from forms or have things predetermined, like where the mail is going to. We can send regular text or HTML via email. As always, I hope this lecture has been helpful and informative. Happy coding!